Hey guys, it's Drummond. So as you can tell from the thumbnail, this video is a little bit more serious than some of my other videos, but I decided I wanted to help some friends out who are actually doing something for a group of people who have been affected by the hurricanes that recently hit some of the countries down in the Caribbean. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then they can tell you a little bit why they need your help.
Okay, so my name is Chrissy. I'm a freshman at Liberty University, and this is my boyfriend, Joshua.
I'm a sophomore at Liberty.
And we recently heard about a program called Casas por Cristo, which is Spanish for Houses for Christ. And it is a missionary trip that goes out to 3 different locations during spring break, which is for March for us at Liberty University. And we will be dedicating our time to building a house in the Dominican Republic specifically. We will collectively, our group will build one house, but that is foundation, framework, everything down to electricity and running water. So that is a week.
So essentially, we're gonna be donating our spring breaks to go down and make a difference in a group of people that hasn't really been reached out to that much. So we're going to be making an effort to, this is my first missions trip. I don't know if you've made one in the past.
No, it's mine.
So we're going to be going on our first missions trip together. Like she said, we're going through Casas por Cristo. She's going to be the obviously the beauty and the face of it. She speaks Spanish fluently, and I'm just going to be sweating and
doing all
the construction work.
Yeah. I'll be doing the construction work.
Awesome. So while you guys are down there, are you guys also spreading the word of God? Since Liberty is a Christian university. I don't know if you guys know that, but Liberty is like one of the largest, is it the largest Christian university?
It's the largest Christian university
Okay,
in the
so
world.
it's the largest Christian university in the world. So when you're down there, are you also going to be doing stuff like that?
Yeah, so they say that we will be there for about 7 days, minus 1 day for travel in both directions at the beginning and at the end of the week. But the whole entire house is built within typically 3 days.
Wow.
So that leaves a lot of room for us during the nights and during the extra day or two in between that we have to go out into the city, just backpacking and really reaching the people and bringing them to a local church that might be available for them depending on how bad the city was hit. We're specifically going to Santiago. So from everything that I've seen online and all the updates, they're in dire need of just support in any way that we can offer. So in that extra time, we will be speaking to the people. It is 2017, so there are a lot of people in the Dominican Republic that will speak English, but for the few, or the many who probably don't, there are quite a few missionaries that will be speaking Spanish to them and ministering as best that we can.
That's really cool. So how are you guys raising funds to do this trip?
So essentially, we're relying completely on outside funding and just trusting God that will provide. To clarify, this is not something that Liberty University themselves is sponsoring. This is just approved through them. So essentially, we're relying on God to provide all of the funds from outside sources. We're relying on donors, churches, anyone who wants to reach out and just be able to make an actual tangible impact in people's lives. Whether that be a Christian wanting to reach out or someone who is not a believer, you still have the opportunity through supporting us in this endeavor that not only will you be helping to build homes, but you'll be able to restore some semblance of just humanity back to people who have lost their homes and not been really cared for on a massive global scale. And while we're down there, like she said, we are going to be spreading the gospel of Christ, but we're also not going to be just talking about it. We're going to actually be showing them Christ and showing them that we are commanded to love one another as Christ loved us, and that requires sacrifice. So Miriam chose to sacrifice our spring breaks to go down and just try to make an actual tangible difference in someone's life.
So usually people on their spring break, they go out and party and do crazy things and kind of detox from school just because you only get a week. What made you guys decide to give up your week that could be used for fun for something like this?
Well, to make a long story short, I've been a Christian now for about 6.5, almost 7 months, and I'm pretty much the definition of a Reformed Christian. So this is a way for me to put action behind words and thought. And it's easy for a lot of us to say our thoughts and our prayers are with people in this disaster situation or the other, but it takes actual true faith to go out and put yourself either in harm's way or in an inconvenient way to actually go out and serve.
Yeah, I think that definitely. I think that in today's world, with the access to things that we have right now, we, our health and our comfort is something that we take for granted. When you have it, you don't really notice, but when it's gone, it's a big problem. So I think just as Christians and looking from the outside in, seeing this like terrible thing, I mean, how hypocritical would it be for us to sit here and just like, oh, well, we'll just say like a prayer and just hope things work out. The people living in these countries, they're in dire need of outside resources and outside help. So it is our time to step up and really get involved. And I think that's why we felt called to participate in this missions trip.
So if I can just add one more thing on top of that, in the book of Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 8, the verse says, I heard the voice of the Lord say, who shall go for us and who shall I send? And I replied, here I am, Lord, send me. So this is a way for us to actually respond in an affirmable and tangible way to that call.
Yeah, I definitely think that doing something like this is like physically showing people like the love that God can give you. A lot of people in today's world, I feel like, because the actions don't match what is being said, I feel like a lot of people aren't seeing God's love the way that they should. And I definitely feel like you guys going and doing this is like going to show the people down there that there are people up here that will go out of their way to make sure that they have the same comforts that we do up here, since we weren't affected.
Yeah, definitely. One of our professors always tells us that one of the biggest turnoffs for non-Christians to Christianity is seeing people who claim to be Christians and then act in ways that really just we shouldn't act. And I remember this professor always says, serve and be the hands and feet of God, and we are his biggest ambassadors. So what we do really, really shines a light.
So I know the reason you guys are doing this is because God is really pulling on your hearts to make a difference in the world and do good for other people. But I know there's a lot of people out there who don't believe in God, and I know that all three of us are believers, but what would you say to those that aren't there yet?
So putting religion and faith and all that aside, yes, that is what's causing us to pursue this, and obviously we prayed about it and thought that this is what God wants us to do. However, it's also just what's wrong with just loving your neighbor. Just because they're not your physical neighbor does not mean that they're not people. They're still people. They still need help. They still deserve love. They still deserve all of these things. That's probably the biggest problem with Christianity as a whole, reaching out to any group of people, whether that be disaster victims or the gay community or the Muslims of the world. And people have this assumption that Christians only care about Christians, and that's not it at all. Mm-hmm. We care about everybody, and we don't care about everybody just as Christians. We care about everybody as people first. We love them as they are. That's how Christ loved us, and that's how we are commanded to love others.
Definitely.
So showing just humanity in general. So it's something that you guys have definitely been brought closer to because of your belief in God and what you believe God wants. But in general, like, humanity is something we all need to like move towards, and just loving everyone, because the message of the Bible is love. And I don't think there's anything wrong with not being a Christian when it comes to showing love. Like, no matter what religion you are, what types of things you practice, like, love is the most important thing. And you guys are doing something that you don't have to do, and you are showing love in a way that God most definitely needs us to show people. So I think when it comes to everyone helping out, like, if you can just show a little love, it doesn't necessarily have to be you're helping and doing things for these people because they're Christians, because everyone deserves a chance to live in a place where they can come home and not be in a home that was destroyed. Because I've seen pictures of all those places down there, and it was insane. Like, I couldn't imagine being down there. I actually have been to Puerto Rico twice now, and I've made friends down there, and the pictures and stuff on their like social medias, it's just insane that a hurricane can do that, and they definitely need help.
Absolutely. And these people are in a position where they don't really know where else to turn to other than allowing outside sources, because the country itself, yes, they're making efforts, but there's so much more that can be done through these private enterprises and these private endeavors, whether they be faith or otherwise based, is they're providing opportunities for not only their lives to be restored to a somewhat normal sense, but to be brought back to wholeness, and where they don't feel like they have to worry about where their next meal is going to come from, or whether or not their children are going to be sleeping out in the rain.
And I had a friend say to me, well, this group of 20 of you guys, you're only building one house. Dominican Republic is a big country. And it kind of surprised me, because if each individual person is so important, then a family is even more important, even if it's only one. So I think that our group building a house just gives a lot of hope even to others in the community, that there are people out there that care and that are coming. It might take time. I mean, we are going in March, so it is a long time after the initial hit of the hurricanes, but I still believe that even just our one house, which is amazing for 3 days, makes a big difference in the community, not just to that family, but to others that see what's going to be happening.
Yeah, I will definitely say, like, love and hope and stuff like that spread. So I believe on a regular basis, I try to show like kindness to the world, because I do believe that if I show kindness to you, and then that's going to set something in your heart to where you would be willing to show kindness to another person, and it's just going to spread. So building one house, helping one family, like, I feel like they would be more willing to show God's love as well, or any type of love, and it's just going to continue to spread. So one house is intense still. I've built barns and stuff like that. I went through school for architecture, so building a house in a week, I know that they've got like the extreme home makeover stuff on TV where they make it look so easy, but a house in a week is still a lot to handle for a group of people, so that's still an amazing accomplishment.
It really is. And not just in building the houses, but like she said, or like Chrissy said rather, we'll be going out and reaching the people and letting them know that they're not forgotten about. And whether you are a Christian or not, when you hear that somebody cares about you, and you see the people that you don't know are here to make a difference in your country, it lets you feel that love. And love is not something that's unique to just Christians. This is something that we are all supposed to be sharing with each other all the time. So Chrissy will be using her skill set, and where she can speak Spanish very fluently, and I'll be using the skill sets that I learned in the military to help build homes.
So you guys talked about how you guys are pretty much raising all the funds for this yourself. So how can the people watching this video help you guys out?
So each of us have individually set up GoFundMe pages, and we have a goal of...
It's the price point for each of us is a minimum of $1,400. So it's we each need to raise at least $1,400. However, every penny that goes over that is directly put towards either buying food or buying necessary items for children, or
furnish and fill the house.
And it's also towards other groups that are going. So the organization itself makes no profit from this. So every penny that they get will either be directly used for our trip, or to help others on their trip, or to actually provide the cost of the materials that are needed to build the house.
And you also have to remember that this $1,400 each, not one penny of that is for us to go sightseeing, to eat, nothing like that. It's directly the plane ticket to physically get us there, and then our share of the materials to build the house. So we are not sightseeing, we're not going to like 5-star restaurants and staying in hotels. We are there to serve, and none of that money is for our profit or for our luxury. This is 100% to really help the family that we were building the house for. So if you want to think of it in a different way, you're not donating money to us, you're donating money to a family, a very specific and already chosen family in the Dominican Republic.
If you would, if you as the donor, or potential donor rather, would like to, if you just leave a comment on your donation, or you send us a message through the GoFundMe page, I will personally make sure that you see pictures of the family that you help, of the home that you help build, of just everything that we see as we're seeing it. I will make sure that you get those pictures to you, so that you can either keep them for your own sake, or you can just show them to your children or your friends, and just show like, I helped make this happen.
Yeah, if you guys actually take pictures and stuff, when you guys get back, we can actually do a video and kind of share some of the things that you did down there. You can share your experience, and we can share some of the pictures on my channel so people can actually see what they've done.
And your viewers will be able to see how much of a difference they were able to make in someone else's life.
So, in all reality, if you donate, you are, in a way, building this house. So when you get these pictures and you see them, you could say, I helped put a family in a home when they were suffering. I helped build this house. You may not have put the nail on the wall, but funding it is all the better, you know?
So I think we covered everything in the video that we wanted to talk about, but on a fun note, because we are asking you guys to donate some money to help their cause, Josh has volunteered to do something for you guys if we do hit our goal. So I think we're gonna leave it up to you guys. Keep it appropriate because this is YouTube. So you guys can leave some comments in the comment section below. You can also leave them on his GoFundMe or her GoFundMe page because you can leave comments with your donations. So if you've got some ideas that you want to see Josh do for a video, feel free to leave them in the comment section or on their GoFundMe pages. I am gonna leave the links down below. But I really hope you guys can find it in your heart to help these guys out, because it's not every day that you find people are in our age group that are willing to give up their spring break and time to relax, to go and do some hard work.
Yeah, like I said, like I told him, and like I've agreed to for y'all, the top donor and the other votes, they get to pick, not necessarily like a punishment, but something funny that you want to see, as long as it's relatively appropriate. And as long as I won't get kicked out of my Christian school for it, then I'm absolutely game for whatever it is. Whether you want to make me, jump in an ice cold river, whatever, I don't mind.
There we go.
But if you want to leave that comment along with your donation, or if you want to donate anonymously, either way. But either way, every single one of you is in my thoughts and prayers. Ben, I wanted to thank you from both of us, from Chrissy and I. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate you just opening your channel to your, opening up your viewership to. Well, not only letting us talk about something that I'm sure is going to get some interesting comments, but to also allowing us to share this platform for other people to make a difference. And to you, the viewer, both of us greatly appreciate everything, whether that be a donation, a prayer, a comment, anything.
Even just sharing the page to your Facebook.
Absolutely, definitely. Just take our links, share them around with your friends. Even if you can't help, share them. Somebody can. And just your act alone and viewing this has helped someone. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Chrissy, you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you so much. Even like Josh said, even if you don't donate, just sharing and maybe just making more awareness about the need in these countries, that helps a lot too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, buddy.
When it comes to using platforms like social media, really has grown so much to the point where we can pretty much use social media to raise awareness about anything. So even if you don't feel like you've got any friends that can donate, share it anyway, because you never know who can donate. I know I've donated to tons of causes when my friends have reached out to me. So if you have social media, share it as much as you can, because there's tons of people out there willing to help, and they're just looking for a cause that they can help out in. So if that's everything, I guess we can end the video now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. You want to do that thing?
Yep.
Oh, okay.